Thank you. Yield 5 minutes to Rep. Strickland.
Thank you very much, Chairman Banks and Ranking Member Kim. When we talk about recruiting and retention, we know that when the economy is strong, when unemployment is down, when wages are up, in addition to the challenges that we face in the military, housing, childcare, pay, spousal employment, that all has an impact on whether or not serving the military is attractive. And it's a little troubling to me that instead of addressing this national security issue, that we have some folks on this panel who are obsessed with tweets, which, by the way, if you're going to be obsessed with tweets that say things inappropriate, a lot of people that we serve with would be disqualified for public service. But I digress. My first question is for Ms. Schaefer. I understand that the training pipeline to become part of infantry includes about 2 hours of equal opportunity training between basic and one-station unit training. Does that sound accurate?
It does.
And I also understand that over that period of time, the same trainee will get over 250 hours of rifle marksmanship training. Is that more or less correct?
Correct.
So, Ms. Schaefer, do you think that this disparity, 2 hours of DEI training versus 250 hours of rifle training, represents something that is going to contribute to the decline of the effectiveness of the Army?
No, and I would clarify that the 2 hours of DEI training, it's actually 1 hour depending on which part of basic training you go through. That is actually statutorily mandated MEO and EEO training.
Great, thank you. Evolving national demographics mean that almost half of the 70 million or so Generation Z Americans are racial minorities, and almost a third are immigrants or children of immigrants. RAND studied this on behalf of the Army, and their research shows that individual recruiter characteristics such as gender and race are directly related to recruiter productivity. In other words, young Americans are more likely to join the military if their recruiters look like them. Mr. Cisneros, can you please describe how changing demographics inform the department's long-term approach to talent recruitment and retention?
As you stated, right, the demographics of the nation are changing. Eventually, one day, we're going to be a minority-majority nation. And not only are we changing the minority population increasing, but it's also spreading out through different parts of the country as well. You know, being Hispanic, Hispanics are typically part of the Southwest, but now they've kind of moved into other areas of the country, down in the South and the Northeast as well. Looking at this, what we want to do is really kind of ensure, as you said, right, we want to be ensure that we can show that individuals, you know, when somebody's being recruited, that they're looking, that they can see people that look like them and they can imagine that, hey, I can do this as well one day. And so it is important there, right, to make sure that individuals are able to see themselves in this career field, right? I think the personal touch is very important. And when I first took over this job, I met with the commanding officer of Recruit Command in the Army. You know, we have to be sure that we set for people for success. And he told me a story about how they had an Asian service member who was serving, was from Southern California, but they put him to recruit in the Bronx in New York. So they quickly realized their mistake and they moved him back to the community where he was from so he could appeal to those individuals. Now that doesn't mean our recruiters can only recruit people that look like them, but you know, I think when we go after certain communities, it is important that they're able to see someone like themselves, that they can picture that into their future.
Great, thank you. And I just want to share something about diversity training. In 2017, the DoD did an equal opportunity survey, and here's what we discovered. Diversity training is effective and popular. 82% of service members reported diversity is important to building a high-quality workforce. 83% supported their services diversity efforts, and 75% reported that diversity initiatives positively affected their service. 92% said that training was effective in reducing or preventing harassment and discrimination. So the people who are serving, the vast majority of them say that DEI efforts are in fact effective. I yield back.
Thank you. Yield 5 minutes to Representative Waltz.